Hello, hello. May God bless you and may He prosper you this day. My name is Rick, and I am the cryptocurrency watchman. Okay, guys, I told you that I was going to start a new section of the channel concerning some of the Bitcoin news, and my focus is going to be on manipulation of the blockchain, manipulation of the currencies, and anybody who wants to come against the blockchain itself. I'm here to help us all come together and protect the blockchain. The blockchain is our it's, right now it really seems like our last stand with freedom, our last stand for freedom, for financial freedom, without manipulation, without regulated fees and the IRS breathing down our neck, looking over our shoulders, the banks just stealing every penny that they can through fees and charges and everything else. Not to mention, if it was to fold, they can, with the Dodd-Frank Act and everything that is in place, they can take your money any darn time they choose. And with the new law, when you make a deposit into a bank account, it is no longer your money. That money belongs to the bank. If you don't believe me, look it up yourself. You'll see that. They're talking about bail-ins. If the bank starts going bad, starts going under, they're basically going to go in and take a portion of your money, and the bank is going to take that. When I say a portion, I'm talking like 30, 40, 50%, maybe more. And what they do is, in return for the money, they give you worthless stock in the bank that just took your money. And they tell you that you can't cash that stock in for a certain amount of time, and you just hold it, kind of as an IOU, or a promise or something like that, because they're just looking out for your well-being. And so, they're even talking about, negative percentages, basically charging you to deposit your money into their bank. I mean, we've heard all this. It's all true. Every bit of it's true. I mean, all you have to do is just do a little bit of research, and you'll see that it's all out there. And so the blockchain is freedom. It is our freedom. It's freedom from regulation. It's freedom from fees that just eat you alive. Now I'm one. I pay my taxes. Okay. I would certainly never advise anybody not to pay their taxes because it's the law, first of all. And you give to Caesar what is Caesar's. That's what it all comes down to. So it's not about tax evasion, but it is about the IRS coming in and freezing your account simply because you didn't cross a T, or maybe you have a period in the wrong place, or maybe a comma was off, or whatever. I mean, we've seen it happen. How many times have we seen it happen where they come and they threaten to take your home, your car, everything over nothing, and then in the end you have to pay to bring in your lawyers and accountants and whatever it takes to go through the audit and prove to them that you don't owe them the money. And then when it's all said and done, it turns out that you don't owe them the money. All they get is, oh well, see you later, but we'll be watching. So yeah, that's the way it goes. So the blockchain is our last and final freedom for businesses, for our banking, for our money, for our wealth, to protect our wealth. To particularly for businesses, for the deregulation, not being regulated to death and having 3 or 4 middlemen, between you and the consumer, taking a little piece of the pie to drive that price up. And of course, in a lot of cases, if you're dealing with PayPal, and I don't have anything against PayPal, but when you're looking at Visa and MasterCard and, the charges that you have to incur for doing transfers from one to the other, the marketplaces that they come up with, and whatever the company may be, whatever it may be, the point is that you want to reduce the fees, you want to reduce the regulation. You don't want somebody looking and looking at every purchase that you make, not to mention the identity theft that is involved with it, and so many other things. Well, the blockchain protects us from that. It protects us from that. And so when you see people doing things, manipulating, we know that China has manipulated a lot of the currencies over the past, taking money out, putting money back in, driving the coins up and down. And you know what? I don't really have a big problem with that because that's what the blockchain is for. Okay, the blockchain is freedom, and if the Chinese want to, manipulate the blockchain and the currencies in that matter, that's their business. Okay, that's what it's all about. And the best way for us to be able to come against this and be able to stop the manipulation, or at least kind of curb it, would be to bring more people into the blockchain, more companies into the blockchain. Convince your friends and your family and everything else to invest in the blockchain. Now, they don't necessarily have to take all their money and put it in there, but if we have a larger section, a larger chunk of individuals that stand together as one, and if we're not moving money, billions of dollars in and out. I mean, if you think about it, if we just have a small percentage of the blockchain, we can control and curb the huge swings that people like JP Morgan and China and all these other companies that I mentioned in my last video, the kind of control that they seem to have. So we're going to take a look at JP Morgan and see exactly what they've done. You've probably heard about this, but I just want to make everybody aware of what's going on here. Okay, now you can see in this article from November 5th that JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, Bitcoin is going to be stopped. So he's basically saying that Bitcoin is a bubble, that Bitcoin is for criminals, that Bitcoin is for drug dealers, that Bitcoin is basically worthless, that it's worthless. That's what he's telling everybody, that it may be seeing its heyday right now, but soon it's going to be worth nothing and it's going to fall in on itself. And he's saying that he would never touch it, he would never have anything to do with it, and he's advising everybody else to get out of it. You can see a quote here from Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. I don't know who gave him that name, but Warren Buffett is not exactly one of my favorite people, that's for sure. Just do a little research on Warren Buffett, and you'll see exactly what he's about. But anyway, the quote says, concerning Bitcoin, stay away from it. It's a mirage, basically. It's a method of transmitting money. It's a very effective way of transmitting money, and you can do it anonymously and all that. A check is a way of transmitting money too. Are checks worth a whole lot of money just because they can transmit money or money orders? You can transmit money by money orders. People do it. I hope Bitcoin becomes a better way of doing it, but you can replicate it a bunch of different ways, and it will be. The idea is that it has some huge intrinsic value is just a joke in my view. So here is Mr. Dimon and all his glory and glamour and whatever. And he is quoted as saying, blockchain is like any other technology. If it is cheaper, effective, works, and secure, then we are going to use it. The technology will be used, and it could be used to transport currency, but it will be dollars, not bitcoins. I don't think so, Mr. Dimon, because you know what? Dollars aren't worth the paper that they're printed on. Okay, so now we're going to look at our next article. This is from September 13th. Hold up, show you. There's September 13th. Now Jamie Dimon is calling Bitcoin a fraud. Now, if you notice, this coincides with China basically making it illegal to buy and sell Bitcoin, to buy and sell really any altcoin, and are telling the platforms to set a time, because at the end, or to post and let people know that come September 30th, it's all going to be illegal and everything's going to be shut down. And we'll look at that in just a second. So look at the timeline. Look at the timing of this. Look at the timing that he comes out and says this. He comes out and says that Bitcoin is a fraud. Bloomberg reports that Chase Bank CEO Jamie Dimon calls Bitcoin a fraud at an investors meeting today. Dimon said that Bitcoin is worse than the tulip bulbs and that he would fire any employee trading Bitcoin on the company's account. Now remember that statement. he would fire any employee trading Bitcoin on the company's account. Now, if you're not familiar with what he's talking about with the tulip bulbs, back in 1593, the tulip market was beginning to boom. Tulips were already becoming very popular, and then suddenly out of nowhere, a non-fatal virus caused the tulips to begin to have these just incredible flames of colors all over the tulips. They just these amazing colors that were popping out on the tulips, and so then the tulip business just absolutely exploded. They were already kind of rare, but with the colors and everything, all of a sudden everybody wanted tulips, and so for quite a while apparently, the tulip market was huge, and there were literally people that were selling their homes, that were mortgaging their homes, taking all their life savings, everything they had, and investing in the tulip market. They were buying tulip bulbs, and some people were buying, some people were growing, but the tulip market just absolutely exploded, and the price went something like 20-fold or something like that. It was amazing. Everybody was making an absolute fortune off the tulips. Well, of course, it was in a bubble. And because of a bubble, when many speculators, savvy speculators, begin to see a bubble and they see that they pretty much maxed out, it's kind of reached that peak, they decided to start selling off any stocks, anything that they had, within the companies, maybe the company themselves, whatever it was, and to basically save their profits, crystallize their profits, take it, and make sure that they have their profit. They were selling on top, and they didn't care what the market did at that point. They had their money. They were good to go. Well, of course, a lot of people began to see that some of the top dogs were selling off, and so this created a panic, and people started to panic sell, and it created a domino effect, and of course the bubble burst, and the tulip market just crashed. It would, just very, very, very quickly. The domino effect was devastating, and at some point the government was even offering, because many of the suppliers refused to honor their contracts with the tulips, and so it had gotten so bad that the government actually came in and offered 10% of face value of all contracts. And of course, at that time, at that point, it completely crashed. Completely. Once the government stepped in and said, hey, things are so bad, we're going to offer you 10%. Everybody looked and said, oh my God, and that was the end of the tulip craze. And many people were left destitute and bankrupt because of the whole tulip thing. And that's what he was talking about. So he believed that that Bitcoin is this fad, that everybody wants Bitcoin simply because it's new and it's cool and everything else. And eventually it's gonna bust, and it's just gonna come to nothing, and everybody's gonna be left destitute and bankrupt. And so, and of course he's comparing it also to the .com bubble, and of course anybody we all know what happened with that. Okay, here's an article from September 16th. This is actually from Altcoin Today. Most of these articles are from Altcoin Today. I just wanted to give them kudos on this. I'm not trying to steal or plagiarize from anybody. I just want to let you know that, I'm getting a lot of this from Altcoin Today. Anyway, you can see that Beijing sets deadline for Bitcoin exchanges, customers to withdraw funds quickly. They've given them until midnight of the 15th, which was actually 2 days ago, to post on all of the platforms within China, and to tell them that they must get off of the platforms, withdraw their funds now, that it'll all be done in a risk-free manner. They just come, they get their money, they get off. Nothing said. I don't know if they're charging fees. I don't know, but anyway, when it comes down to it, China has announced that basically Bitcoin and all the altcoins are illegal to trade within China. Now, there are things being done, moves being made to try and get around that. But as we all know, China is not exactly the most, sharing people. They have a tight reins on their people and on their country, and they're not ones to usually let them circumvent what they're wanting to do. However, we are talking about the blockchain, and as long as you have as long as you have internet access, I imagine that they will be able to access other platforms. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to pretend to know how that works or whatever, but from what they're saying, the platforms within China, and from what I understand, BTCC is like one of the largest. It's a very large platform, but you can see it's not affecting the other aspects of BTCC. But you can see that the timing of this with Jamie Dimon is coinciding with this whole thing with China. And so what happens, as we saw the other day, when I put the video out the other day, and I showed you what JP Morgan did, and between China and JP Morgan, the fear of not just the Chinese drawing their money out of the accounts, because obviously as soon as they saw that they were given a certain time limit, you can bet that they chose at that time to start basically dumping all the Bitcoin, at least off of those platforms. And of course, JP Morgan, I saw the other day, and I'm still trying to get evidence of this. Somebody had told me, and it's a very good source, had told me that JP Morgan, that they were bragging about moving money off of the platforms with Bitcoin, which doesn't make any sense. With as far as what Jamie Dimon said, because he said that if anybody within Chase Bank was trading Bitcoin, they were going to be fired. So let's take a look at something real quick. Okay, so this is an article from September 16th. This is Altcoin Today again. And what's this? Chase Bank buys Bitcoin even as Jamie Dimon rejects it? What? Are you saying that they may have manipulated it through the news and fear and China and calling it a fraud and all these other things, calling it a that there's a bubble that was going to burst, calling it a scam, and then lo and behold they turn around and when it drops they buy it up and like crazy? Is that what you're telling me, Jamie Dimon? And Chase Bank? Well, I certainly hope that he's going to fire himself and everybody else involved in buying those coins. Because isn't that what he said? Oh my gosh, really? Now you can see right here, the Twitter, somebody was able to capture apparently the buying of the coins. I haven't gone over this actually. You can actually see the article. I'll put a link to the article down below, and you can go and see this and kind of look it over. But there's something really cool. Here we go. JP Morgan Securities. You can see they bought most of it from what they're saying. Bought most of what they were showing there. I'll have to go through and look. I didn't look. I did not research this real close. I just wanted to show you the articles. But look at this guy. I am Nomad at I am Nomad. And what does he say? Oh, where is it? I didn't see it. Oh, we see you. We see you at JP Morgan. That is awesome. Oh, I got to give this guy kudos, man. I got to give him thumbs up on that because that is just absolutely amazing. It says the user I am Nomad posted the tweet, including a screenshot of the BTC chart with JP Morgan Chase purchase circled. There's been many commentary by industry insider that the bank has a vested interest in seeing Bitcoin fail, even while they're seeking to join the upswing in potential profits. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, these are the kind of things, guys. I mean, because the thing is, right in the middle of all this, okay, they are They are grouping together, and I told you this in my last video. They're grouping together with Wells Fargo, State Street, the SWIFT system, which we know the SWIFT system is the exchange of any foreign currency to the dollar. Anytime you exchange any foreign currency, even if you're going from one foreign currency to another foreign currency, it must go through the dollar so that they can get their cut. Cisco, London Stock Exchange, Mitsubishi, which is big money, the Japanese, obviously, and USJ Financial. They have hired a company called or I guess they hired them. I guess the best way to say it, the Uniform Law Commission, and they are creating what is called the Uniform Regulation of Virtual Currencies Business Act. And what they're wanting to do, they're wanting to come in and take over the blockchain. They want to come in because they want to be able to see all information sent on the blockchain, all monies being sent on the blockchain. They're wanting to put stocks, gold, silver, bonds on the blockchain so that they can watch it and track it, and of course track what you're doing. Look over your shoulder, see everything that you're doing. They're basically wanting to destroy the blockchain for what it is. That's basically what they're trying to do. They want to regulate everything, and you can see that in all aspects. You can see right here that Canada confirms tokens may be securities and Pacific Coin is the test. So, and they were talking about the same thing here in the United States. That was the whole issue with the ICOs. That's why they're changing the name to tokens, because the SEC wants to take every coin, every ICO, and regulate it. They want you to have to go through them. You have to go through them and get their permission and, jump through hoops and do everything that has to be done for you to be able to launch your ICO, because they're calling it a security. And they believe that since it falls under security, it must be regulated. And so that's why you're seeing all these companies, all these new ICOs coming out, and they're using the word token. No more saying coin, token. Okay? So you can see that even Canada is following suit. The U.S. is trying to just manipulate everything. Guys, I tell you what, we need ideas, and we need strategies, and we need ways to figure out how to stand up against these guys. I mean, I don't have the answers. But I know this: we need to protect the blockchain. We need to protect this. This is our freedom. This is our last stand of freedom. This is the last thing that they don't have their greedy little fingers and their paws all over. And they want it bad because of the amount of money that's flowing through this, and they can't get in and take their cut. They can't get in and steal it from you. Okay? We need strategies. We need ideas. We need to come together. Okay? We need to come together as a group and get the word out on the blockchain and on Bitcoin and on the other coins. Because this is freedom. It's your freedom. I mean, every day we're losing more and more and more of our freedom. It's time to stop. It's time to step up and say enough is enough. They've got everything already, and they still want more. Too much is never enough for them. So guys, I'm asking you to join with me, to help me, to send me as much information as you can. Now, I need facts. Okay? I don't need, speculation is fine. I have no problem with that. But I don't need, made up stories that have nothing to back it up. Guys, send me emails, send me feedback. Give me your ideas. Whatever it may be. I'll give you credit where credit is due on any information that comes my way. But guys, we have got to stand up to this. got to stand up to this. We've got to. Because if we lose this and we lose the blockchain, they're going to control it all of it, all of it. We already know the Federal Reserve is buying up all of the mortgages, all the mortgages out there, because the elite, they want to own your property, they want to own your lives. You know, look at the health care being pushed through with Obamacare. You know, single payer systems. If they control your money, if they control your health, if they control your food, they've got you. They've got you. They control your business. They have you. What else are you going to do? You're going to go live in the woods, live off the land? This is our freedom we're talking about, guys. So that's enough of my rant. I'm going to continue putting out these videos on a regular basis. I don't know if it'll be daily. If the news comes across and I see something interesting, you're darn right I'm going to put it out. I'm going to put it out immediately. But I need you guys to join with me. Join with me. Let's come together. It's not about me. Okay, it's about us. It's about us. Let's do something about this. All right. Will you guys be blessed? I hope you enjoyed the videos. Please tell your friends to subscribe. And please send me as much information. Email me at ccwatchman7@gmail.com. Check out my Facebook page. It's Crypto C Watchman. And shoot me a message, whatever. Contact me any way that you can, and I will certainly give you a shout out for any information that is given. And let's make this happen, guys. I love you all. Take care.